Los Angeles Rams at the Minnesota Vikings. The Rams, 2.5 to 3 point road favorites over the Vikings. 49.5 is the total here. Steven, when we look at this Vikings team, boy, at least they're consistent, right? They get up. They can't hold a lead. They let the other team come back. They threaten to lose the game. And I mean, it's rinse and repeat every single week. It's like they're going to get up double digits in a game. They're going to blow the double digit lead. They might blow the whole game. It's like the exact same formula every single game. In come the Rams. Of course, the Rams now in a super, super good spot to not only try and steal the West, but to steal the NFC in general here over the last 3 weeks of the season. They find themselves as short road favorites here over the Vikings, 49.5 the total.
We have an NFL playoff picture post up at thelines.com right now, just breaking everything down in each conference and looking at futures and whatnot. And if you go there, you'll see that the Vikings are now up against the wall. They do currently hold the 7th and final spot in the NFC at 7-7, but they got games against the Rams and on the road against the Packers the next couple of weeks. So which Minnesota Vikings team is going to show up from this consistently inconsistent squad? Because frankly, it was this week, right? It was, what the hell day was that game?
Monday night.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
It's all running together now, Brad. I think it is for all of us. 3.2 yards per play in Chicago. If the Bears did anything in the red zone, Minnesota probably loses that game. Chicago was 1 for 5 in the red zone in that game. So they have weeks like that. They have weeks like when they lost to the Lions. And then they have weeks where they look pretty darn good against Green Bay and Pittsburgh and score a ton of points. So I don't understand where the market's coming from with the money coming in on Minnesota to move this line off the 3, and now it's 2.5. We're getting Rams minus 2.5 here, I think, in one spot as we record this on Thursday. The only angle that makes sense to me that I can think of is that the Rams played on Tuesday and the Vikings played on Monday, which is just a weird spot. It's a shorter week than usual. Other than that, I don't get it, because the Rams, since the bye week, are top 5 in EPA and success rate. Over that same span, the Vikings defense is 16th and 25th. Vikings defense 22nd and 28th in drop back EPA and success rate over that span. This is a defense that relies on a top 10 pressure rate, but the Rams are number 2 in pressure allowed and pass block win rate. So with the receiver, Jalen Ramsey's going to cover Justin Jefferson. Who the hell is going to cover Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham? So unless rest is this big of a factor to you, or the spot with the Rams now desperate and their backs against the wall, I think that it's a discount to get the Rams under a field goal here. I don't know what you guys think.
If we look at this, Alexander Mattison was activated off the COVID list, so he'll be back this week to give them kind of a 1-2 punch with Dalvin Cook there. Adam Thielen did practice on Wednesday. He tried to go last week and just wasn't able to get it done in pregame warmup. So imagine it looks like he's trending towards playing this week. Brad, I think maybe some of this has to do with the fact that the Rams did play on an island game and looked pretty pedestrian this past week. And maybe the market is reflecting that just a little bit. The Rams, maybe one of the more confusing teams in the NFL. They go out and look like world beaters one week, then they struggle the next. They look like world beaters the next week. They struggle the next. This past week, I do understand division opponent and all this, but it
on
was
a Tuesday with a bunch of COVID crap going on. So I throw that out. I throw that game out.
But if there was any team that did benefit from the postponements, it was the Rams for sure. I mean, they got back guys. I mean, they were one of the team. Everybody else didn't benefit at all from the postponements, but they did. They got guys back and everything, and their dudes were out there. I mean, Aaron Donald was out there, and Von Miller was out there, and Jalen Ramsey was out there, Cooper Kupp was out there, Odell, Stafford. I mean, like, they weren't playing hamstrung. This past week like a lot of these other teams that were dealing with COVID issues. So, do you chalk that performance up, Brad, just to it's a divisional game and divisional games are weird sometimes, or is this Rams team just still really, really inconsistent in your mind?
It looked to me like they got bullied a little bit up front, but they were without the right tackle, Havenstein. He'll be back this week, I believe, off the COVID list. I think they were without the centre as well, which could be a problem. But there is also this Sean McVay getting worse in the second half of the season, and it's kind of happened again. So last month, so last 4 games, Rams are 12th in EPA, while the Vikings are up at 9th, and the Vikings have a better success rate offensively as well. So, you've arguably got the better offense at home getting 3 points here with more rest, which, I think that's probably what the market is looking at here. I've not bet it. I would say one thing that really concerns me is, we all watched that Bears Vikings game, and we probably saw Akeem Hicks absolutely dominate the right guard. What's his name? Something Coles. I've forgotten.
Not all that.
Something Coles.
Whatever.
It was walking in backwards with Mason Coles. That's it. It was walking in backwards with one hand, and making the tackle with Dalvin Cook in the other. And so he missed practice as well this week. So you've either got him or his backup versus Aaron Donald, which that could be a game killer essentially if he's getting a couple of sacks up the middle. So that's why I've not pulled the trigger. I would also look at the under. As I say, I don't think the Rams offense is perhaps as good as sort of it is seen to be in the market. 49.5 points is a lot here. And especially if we think Aaron Donald is wrecking the Minnesota offense as well. That it could lean me towards an under.
Yeah, I haven't pulled the trigger on this one yet either. I do lean to the Rams, but I do just I need to dig into this one maybe for a third time, because every time I'm like, I'll take the under a field goal with the Rams here. I don't care if it is on the road against this Vikings team that can't seem to get it done in these big games, but maybe I'm missing something. So a pretty good
or maybe
lean
the
to
line's
the Rams,
right. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe the line's right, and that's why they're having a hard time seeing a big edge on both sides.